At the beginning of the story, we see two buses rolling down the road, each packed with female students on their way to class. Among them is a girl named Mitsuko, strikingly charming, yet unlike the others, she's absorbed in her notebook, writing diligently. Her friends, noticing her focus, start teasing her. "Are you always writing? What do you even get out of all these notes? Look around, everyone's having fun. Why don't you join us?" One of them snatches her notebook, causing her pen to drop to the floor. As Mitsuko bends down to pick it up, something unimaginable happens. Out of nowhere, a violent force tears through the buses, slicing both of them, and all the girls inside, cleanly in half. The scene is nightmarish. Screams fill the air as the girls are instantly cut apart. Mitsuko, stunned, rises slowly, her eyes wide with horror, unable to comprehend what just occurred. The only reason she survives is because she had bent down to pick up her pen. Overcome with terror, Mitsuko jumps off the bus and begins to run. That's when the truth becomes clear. The force wasn't a visible weapon at all. It was the wind itself, a deadly, invisible predator, now chasing her relentlessly. She screams for help as she sprints down the road. Ahead, she sees four girls. Desperately, she shouts for them to duck, but it's too late. The wind strikes, slicing them in half instantly. Miraculously, Mitsuko manages to save one of them. Soon, they spot more girls riding bicycles nearby. Mitsuko and her companion race to warn them, to protect them, but the wind shows no mercy. The cyclists are ripped apart in an instant. Tragically, even the girl Mitsuko had just saved falls victim moments later. Horrified and paralyzed by fear, Mitsuko begins running aimlessly, unsure where to go. She arrives at a river and freezes. The water is filled with countless dead bodies. The wind had already claimed them all. Shaken, Mitsuko takes clothes from one of the bodies and changes into them, trying to regain some composure. She keeps moving and eventually reaches a school, bustling with female students. As she tries to process the nightmare she's just witnessed, a girl approaches her. "How are you?" she asks. It's Mitsuko's best friend, Aki. But Mitsuko, still in shock, barely recognizes her. "Are you really my best friend?" she asks, her voice trembling. Nothing makes sense to her. She is utterly traumatized. It's revealed that Mitsuko and Aki shared a deep bond, caring for each other more than anyone else. Just then, a sudden gust of wind sweeps through the area, and Mitsuko's fear spikes. She bolts into the school building for shelter, leaving Aki confused. Aki follows closely behind, asking, "Why are you trembling so much? Why are you so scared? What happened to you?" Aki asked, concern etched on her face. Finally, Mitsuko opened up and told her everything. How a sudden gust of wind had appeared out of nowhere and killed all the students at her school, slicing them apart. Hearing this, Aki tried to comfort her. She led Mitsuko to a window, placed her hand outside and said gently, "See? It's just the wind. Nothing else." After that, Aki decided to skip class and brought along her two friends, Tai and Sura, to put a plan into action. As the four of them stepped out of the classroom, their teacher appeared, trying to stop them. But they ignored her warnings and ran, eventually reaching a secluded lake deep in the forest. At the lake, Aki shared Mitsuko's story with Tai and Sura. Listening carefully, Sura commented, "What Mitsuko described, maybe it's possible. Perhaps she was in another universe. There are infinite alternate realities in this world." To illustrate her point, Sura picked up a stone and tossed it into the lake. "In this world I threw this stone," she said, "but in another universe I might never have thrown it at all." Suddenly, a giant crocodile erupted from the water and swallowed Tai whole. But moments later, Tai reappeared completely unharmed. Sura explained calmly, "The crocodile ate Tai in another universe. But in this world, nothing happened." Nearby, they discovered a bed. The girls began playing with the pillows, laughing for a brief moment. That's when Mitsuko noticed two girls watching them from a distance. One of them was dressed as a bride, but before Mitsuko could react, both mysteriously vanished. Sura added, "Our fates may be predetermined. But if you want to change your fate, you have to do something impossible, something that can't happen in another universe. Eventually, the girls returned to the school. Later, another class began. Mitsuko noticed a pillow lying beside her seat. Curious, she bent down to pick it up, just as the teacher suddenly pulled out a minigun and began shooting every student in the classroom. When Mitsuko stood up and looked around, she was horrified. Everyone, including Aki, was dead. She realized, with trembling disbelief, that the pillow had saved her life again, forcing her to bend down at the precise moment. The teacher advanced toward her, sneering, "How dare you skip my class? Ready to die?" At that moment, Tai and Sura arrived to help Mitsuko escape. But before they could flee, another teacher appeared and shot Tai and Sura, killing them instantly. Mitsuko, now with a few remaining students, ran out of the building, trying desperately to escape. The teachers continued firing relentlessly. Somehow, Mitsuko and a handful of girls made it outside the school compound. But as Mitsuko tripped and fell while running, a sudden, powerful gust of wind struck, slicing through the remaining girls and leaving Mitsuko the sole survivor. She ran until she reached the town's police station. There, she met a female officer and explained everything. But the officer laughed and asked, "Why are you still wearing a school uniform?" Confused, Mitsuko listened as the officer called her Ko. She didn't understand why she was being addressed by a different name. Noticing her bewilderment, the officer directed her to a mirror. When Mitsuko looked, she was shocked. Her appearance had completely changed. The officer then said, "The reception is about to start," and placed Mitsuko, now Ko, into a police car to take her somewhere. It was revealed that Ko was about to get married. As they drove toward the wedding hall, people on the streets cheered and congratulated her. Upon arriving, Ko was stunned to see her best friend Aki also there. She rushed to Aki, panicked. "What's going on? What is all this?" Aki whispered urgently, "Stay quiet. Right now, we're under someone's control. Do exactly as I say and I'll help you." Mitsuko nodded. "Okay." Aki helped her into a wedding dress, while a group of girls entered, mocking her. Seeing this, Aki lost her patience and killed them one by one. Before heading to the ceremony, Aki handed Mitsuko a broken, sharp-edged bottle. At the altar, Mitsuko froze. Instead of a groom, there stood a coffin. Inside was a figure wearing a large pig mask. Screaming in terror, Mitsuko remembered the bottle in her hand and attacked, creating chaos in the hall. Panic erupted, and people scattered. Mitsuko and Aki tried to escape, but two women appeared to block them. They were the same women who had been teachers at the school. Still, Mitsuko and Aki fought them off and broke free. Outside, they decided to split up to avoid being captured together. As Mitsuko, now Ko, ran, she caught a glimpse of herself in a mirror and froze. Her appearance had changed again, this time into a marathon outfit. Before she could react, another girl called out, addressing her as Ami. At this point, Mitsuko realizes that she has become a marathon runner, a player in the race. Accepting this, Mitsuko, or rather, Isumi, begins running. As she moves forward, she sees her dead friends, Taiko and Sura, who had been killed at school long ago. Relief washes over her when Aki suddenly appears, running toward her. Seeing Aki makes Mitsuko feel safer. But their moment of comfort is short-lived. A man wearing a pig mask and the two female teachers are chasing them. Sura shouts urgently, "You have to get out of this world no matter what." Aki points to a fence. "Go! Escape through the fence." Mitsuko runs and arrives at a deserted, cave-like area. Inside, she discovers many other students, all still in school uniforms. One girl suddenly attacks her, screaming, "If you survive, we all must die." Before the girl can harm her further, Aki appears and kills her, pulling Mitsuko safely into the cave. Once inside, Aki instructs Mitsuko to call out her own name loudly. Mitsuko obeys, and gradually, she returns to her original self. Then, Aki reveals a cable implanted in her hand. "Pull this," she says. "It's your way to escape this world." Fear grips Mitsuko. She hesitates, worried that pulling the cable might kill her best friend. Seeing her hesitation, Aki insists, "The world we're in isn't real. Someone forced us here, and they will keep killing people until you act. You are the main character. If you pull this cable, I can return to the real world, and you can reach the final stage. With determination, Mitsuko pulls the cable. Instantly, Aki is split in two. A gate suddenly opens. Mitsuko steps through and finds herself in a bizarre world filled only with men. They are engrossed in a violent 3D survival horror game called Tag. In this game, Mitsuko, Ko, and Isumi are playable characters, and posters of all three adorn the walls. Shocked, Mitsuko stumbles back. A boy approaches her and says, "You're from the future." The revelation overwhelms her, and she faints. When Mitsuko awakens, she finds herself in a room where many girls are stored like mannequins in display cases. Walking further, she discovers an old man playing the same game in which she had been the main character, completing various trials. Seeing Mitsuko, the old man explains, "I created this game. You are now in the future. 150 years ago, I was a student alongside you, and I had feelings for you. When you died, I took your DNA, and your friend's DNA, to create clones so I could use you in my 3D game." Mitsuko then sees life-sized models of herself and her friends, leaving her utterly stunned. Suddenly, a young boy appears, the younger version of the old man from the men's world. He undresses and lies on a bed, gesturing for Mitsuko to join him. The old man instructs her that the final stage of the game requires her to sleep with his younger self, his long-held, twisted wish. Mitsuko steps toward the bed, but in that moment, she remembers Sura's words. If you want to change your destiny, do something impossible in another universe. Fueled by determination, Mitsuko attacks the young boy, choking him while screaming, "Stop playing with us like toys." Then, seizing the old man's cane, she drives it into her own stomach, killing him. The old man is left in shock. Mitsuko's actions were never part of his game. She has rewritten her fate. Suddenly, we see Mitsuko at the beginning stages of all three scenarios simultaneously: the bus, the wedding hall, and the marathon. She chooses to end her life in each scenario before the horrors can begin. Finally, Mitsuko wakes up in a snow-covered landscape. She takes a deep breath and realizes everything is over. She is now back in the real world. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments what your favorite part was.